Hey guys, just wanted to give an update to the Shuttle PC build. Here it is installed on the desk. So I solved the issue with the very noisy 4670 with this Radeon HD7750 card. Great solution for a single slot, probably close to the most powerful sort of single slot, no extra power required graphics card you can get. As far as I could tell, it was about $105. It wasn't on sale, but nearly silent and gives you pretty good performance considering it's a single slot and it runs completely off the PCI Express bus power, and it fits, you know, nicely in a Shuttle PC. So pretty good choice considering the limitations. And I really think you know, AMD, ATI have got this sort of part of the market sorted out. You know, the low power, fairly high performance card. So you can see that we've replaced that. Of course, still dealing with the white DVD player, but we'll be fixing that again sometime. No big rush because you hardly ever use it. Here we are, guys, back with the Shuttle PC running here with the like I said, the 7750 card. I've got Diablo 3 running. I'm not sure if you can see this, but we have it set to 1080p, plus all the settings are on high, plus anti-aliasing. So let's take a look at how the game looks. I have Fraps running in the background as well. It's always a little laggy at the beginning, I find, even on the other computer. But I don't know if you can see there, it's flipping around a lot, but it's flipping around from anywhere to 70 to high 50s frame rate there. So not too bad at all. Can't really play it with one hand, but you can see it's pretty good frame rate for considering that this is a you know, a middle of the range graphics card, single slot. I'll show you some other benchmark stuff with the same setup. One thing I will notice in the Diablo 3 is pretty intense CPU wise, and pretty intense graphics wise, and it quite heavily loads the shuttle down, and it does make a bit of noise with the power supply. So I'm not sure if the mic here will pick it up, but if we go to the back, around to the back, you might be able to pick up the fan noise, and it's actually the power supply fan that's the noisy one in this case. So that's a bit of a downer. I do find that when it gets heavily loaded, the power supply does make quite a bit of noise. Anyway, on to some other benchmarks. Here we have the Unigine version 3 benchmark. Not sure how you say that, Unigine. Anyway, there's the benchmark 3.0. Now this is the defaults. So this has tessellation and anti-aliasing off. But you know, as you know, this is a pretty stressful benchmark on the graphics card. So with the defaults, without any of the fancy stuff turned on, I think we're achieving roughly 30 frames per second, just over 30 frames per second. So, which isn't bad considering, you know, at 1080p, you know, that's not bad for a mid-range graphics card like the 7750. I'll rerun the benchmark with the settings sort of all cranked up so you can see the difference. Okay, so here we have the settings all cranked up. I've got tessellation at normal, the anisotropy at 16 times, the anti-aliasing at 8 times. So let's run that. There we go. So that's with everything cranked up at 1080p. Obviously you wouldn't expect a graphics card like this to do great at those settings, but at least, you know, you get an idea compared to other cards. So we're running, you know, in the high 20s at the most, but typically dropping down, you know, during the action where it's really moving around to about 17 or 18 or so. So anyway, not really enough, you know, horsepower really for these settings, but you know, that's the point of these benchmarks, to try to stress out the graphics card. But you know, it's runnable. So here we have good old Skyrim. This is in 1080p with ultra settings. So this is ultra. I don't tend to play because the frame rate isn't quite high enough for me, but just to prove that you can run an ultra, you can see the scenery and the water looks really good. So at that setting, where are we? We're doing about, well, it's 30 frames per second, even when we're moving around. That's not bad outdoors. Sometimes when you've got a lot more textures and scenery. So, there's my companion there. But, yep, so you can run Skyrim. That's usually what people want to know, right? So, ultra settings, about 30 frames per second. If you put it up to high settings instead of ultra, it's a little bit better than this, and you probably won't notice a lot of the change anyway. But it looks pretty darn good. So anyway, so that's the Shuttle PC with the 7750 single slot graphics card in there, 4 gigs of RAM, an Athlon X2 7750, but it's not overclocked. It's running 2.7 gigahertz, but you could easily, you know, say this is a mid-range gaming system with that kind of horsepower. There you go. So here we are again. We're running Skyrim still, and I wanted to give you an idea of how the fan noise was. So I'm going to put this fairly close to the microphone, so you guys can hear that maybe over my voice, but the worst part is a bit of a high-pitched whine from the power supply fan. You know, the main fan isn't too bad, and I can't hear the graphics card at all, but the power supply is noisy. So if anything, I would, you know, say Shuttle PCs are not bad for noise, but it's a bit disappointing with the, you know, the sound from the power supply.